Hello, my name is Helen Owen, although in Uganda many call me Mama Helen or Mummy Helen. And I'd like to give you a short introduction to the school, Kirinya Children's Centre, Nursery and Primary School, Uganda. It's on the outskirts of the capital city, and it's in a key location for development for Uganda. And I was first given the opportunity to go there in 2014 with a team to do a Christian conference in this little village in a little church that was so rickety they were praying it wouldn't fall down on us. But while I was there, I saw this little school that was just made of planks of wood with a few children, smiley faces. They had a little uniform, mainly mums were teaching them to read and write, and it just captured my heart. And I held all these things in my heart because I knew that I would be back, that somehow I was connected to this place. So in 2015 I started to buy the land and secure this place, because where it was, I said it's a key position. I could see green space for quite a distance, but it was land that belonged to the government that was going to be developed. And I could see there future industry, future infrastructure and jobs and hope for the future for those children there. The average age of the population in Uganda is just over 15 years old. And it's really vital that these children do get an education. Now, we care for the most vulnerable and the poorest children that aren't even able to access government schools because their families haven't even got the money for shoes, uniform, books and so on. We've grown from that tiny little school that I saw in 2014 to having nearly 200 children now. About 1/3 of those are orphans, and we're caring for the poorest of the poorest, but giving them the most excellent education. So the first 5 years that I was going, I worked with Pastor Jeffrey really alone, investing all that I had in the land, building what was a church stroke school as one, and it worked by having the church divided up into classrooms with wooden partitions, which would be removed at the end of the school week to create one big space for worship. But COVID happened, and that's not really an ideal environment for children. So while the schools were in lockdown, we went ahead with building a new school. So I thank all the people that have supported us and helped us do that at such a difficult time. We now have a separate church, a primary school and a nursery school, and all the teachers have their own house. Because I started to do that because the area is developing, is improving, and we found that teachers, the rents were going up and they couldn't afford to stay with us. But now we have university degree qualified teachers, which is one of the requirements that's come into force this last year through the education authorities. We pay them a good salary, they're housed and they're fed, and right back in the early days, I bought some farming land, 3 hectares, so that we could be growing food for the school. And that's been developed over the years. And we also have 2 young lads working that land to grow food for the school, which is wonderful. In the last year, we grew from a small group of people to become a registered charity, the Helen Margaret Owen Foundation. And I work with Pastor Jeffrey, who's now the headmaster there officially and doing a bachelor's degree in primary head teaching. And we work together very closely. We've always been in agreement. We're messaging one another almost daily. We work together very closely, and that's the success of this over many, many, many years, that we've developed this school into a centre of excellence through the dedication of the teachers and Pastor Jeffrey wading his way through all the educational authority requirements and everything else that he's had to do. So we thank them for that. These children are so very, very grateful for their education. It doesn't really cost very much to support them. We're hoping to gradually build up our support in the UK so that we can cover the costs to make this school sustainable and continue to take in the most vulnerable children. We're already seeing the area developing and the children developing. Some have come to the school with no previous education whatsoever. So they do a test to see where we place them. So even in our primary leaving year, which is P7 in the UK, P7 is the first of the secondary year, some of those children have been, 16, 17 even, but we've now got about 70 children in nursery school, bringing them in from 2.5 years old. And just imagine, them going through nursery and primary school and coming out with a really good education that's going to stand them in good stead for the future. And lockdown was very, very hard. People were dying of poverty, starvation more than COVID. And through the charity, we were able to help people by providing money for food. And then this last year has been our first full year back in school. And at the end of that year, in November, the children in primary 7 sat their leaving exams, and I am thrilled to report that half of those children got a grade 1, which is the top grade, and the other half got a grade 2. So we just thank everybody for their amazing hard work. The children worked long hours to make up for what they've missed. And we're just going to go from strength to strength. We're just beginning in 2023 to go into our second full year post-COVID with even greater demands and but high expectations and high hopes. We've just built a new boarding house for the boys because the one we had really wasn't suitable. And we thank everybody for their support. And I just want to show my appreciation to everybody that has stood alongside, that is going to stand alongside in the future. Thank you for coming along to the coffee mornings and anything else we do, but mostly the children's gratitude is overwhelming. And you just will be so blessed to see their smiley faces, their joy that comes from being able to have a good education, these precious children. Now, I've seen other orphanages operate on a child sponsorship scheme, but I just don't know how you can choose one child over another. You could do a little profile like some do, that, my name is Blessed and I'm 7 and I want to be a nurse or whatever it is. How do you choose one child over another, or a brother over a sister? So all money that comes in to the charity account is used for the benefit of all the children, and every penny that comes into the charity account is used to feed and educate these precious children. So we're so thankful for how we've grown, how we've met every challenge, and there's been many, how we've all had the strength to overcome, and we're just thrilled to see what's happened, and what's going to happen in future, because this is a big vision. So please share with us and partner with us. Thank you. Bless you.